Just when you thought we were done talking about the Acolyte, the terrible Star Wars series that has already been canceled, helmed by the, shall we say, inglorious former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, well, they bring us back in. This time it's Mama Yass herself, saying that Disney did not defend the actors well enough. And we've got some opinions about this one that just might surprise you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the place that Hollyweird just can't stand. And why? Well, because we do the horrible sin of dragging them back to the mainstream middle, the sensible center where money can be made. Today, we're doing just that with a story, yet again from Lucasfilm, about how horrible and terrible those awful fans, that's you, are and were towards the actors, the actresses, the stars, if you can possibly call anyone involved in the Acolyte as being. Well, they believe they're stars, and they believe that they were not treated as stars should be. Today, we'll tell you what's going on. Let's bring the panel on right now. Well, it's more Acolyte distress, and the stress levels have to be taking off at Disney. Here's what we've got. It says, out of thatparkplace.com, the Acolyte actress Jodie Turner-Smith accuses Star Wars fans of racism and charges Disney with failing to protect actors from alleged racism. It's by the amazing John Trent. I heard someone ready to say something.
I was going to say, if you don't remember who she is, she's the one that went, yes, yes. And so I call her Mama Yes all the time. But Pro, when you get to her quotes, let me give you my impression.
Okay, well, I think we've got a quote. I think we've got a quote from her interpreted by another Star Wars character. Let's see what we've got.
The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
All right, well, we can tell Luke is not eager for this story, but we are. It says, actress Jodie Turner-Smith, who played Mother Anastasia,
yeah.
on the show, accused Star Wars fans of racism and charged Disney with failing to protect the actors. It goes on to say, I want to know, did Disney protect the fans from the diss raps? I'm not sure. Speaking with Glamour in the wake of the show being canceled after the first season due to low ratings, she said, Disney's got to stop doing this thing where they don't say anything when people are getting blanking dogpiled on the internet with racism and bull cursory. She added, it's just not fair to not say anything. It's really unfair. Guys, I got to say, I recall Amanda Stenberg really being at the forefront of being divisive, as going so far as to make a music video. I don't recall fans really doing that towards this. I think that they wanted to be controversial, and now they wish they had not been, or at least they wish Disney had corporately come to their defense in being divisive.
I think I'd like to actually approach this from a completely different angle. She is 100% correct. Disney doesn't protect its actors and actresses. It doesn't protect its staff from pay gap discrimination. It doesn't protect its vulnerable staff from being able to move up the work ladder because they prevent certain types of people from positions of power. Disney absolutely does not give a flying bullpucky about you, Miss Actress Anastasia, or anybody else who works for them, because they just want money. They will never protect you. They will never say good things about you. They will never stick their neck out for you because you are a useful idiot to them. And that's the bottom line.
Wait a minute, Savvy. It's worse. I'm going to steal Lou's line. And yes, folks, Lou will be with us for the hurricane coverage tomorrow, I believe. Savvy, it's worse than that. I hope Lou's listening. They use people like Mother Anastasia. They use people like Amanda Stenberg. They use people like Halle Bailey as shields. And in this case, they used the diverse cast of the Acolyte to shield criticism against Leslie Headland, the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. That's how
I can take that a step further, Pro. I don't think they use them as shields. I think they use them as bait. They throw them out there as bait. They're waiting for somebody to pounce and say something stupid. So then it's shields up. You know, like at that point, now any and all valid criticism just pings off of them like bullets off of Superman's chest.
Just out of curiosity, which Which outlets do they own that reported on the levels of racism and toxic fans? Because I'd like to see the statistics and the ad revenue they generated from some of those articles that they put out doing this bait and switch.
Like you
That is a
see,
fantastic
none of the
point.
ad revenue actually matters. All that matters is how much people are saying bad things to me and my co-stars. That's how she sounds. That's literally her voice.
You know what's funny is if she was the lead of the show, I think she would have actually done a better job than Blankface. You know,
Yes.
the other one's name, Amandala. This is very frustrating because we could have just complained about the basic fact that they're putting some things that are probably inappropriate for a children's series, whether or not, you know, everyone wants to admit that Star Wars is that, because it is a children's series. She's actually a decent actress with a decent presence, but they didn't make her the main character of the show. They turned her into this weirdo who has a cult.
Smoke monster.
Yeah, it turns into a smoke monster, which is apparently how you de-escalate a situation. But she's not the villain of the show. The villain of the show is what was supposed to be, I guess, the hero of the show, depending on how you present it. This whole thing is just, there is nothing in this show.
Patriarchy is the villain. An adoptive father is the villain.
But they take this entire premise, which is a show which, a movie series that very much hinges on the idea of good and evil, and they try to do a show where there are shades of gray and nothing else. And then they want to say that it is a black and white issue in a different way. No, I don't buy it. And I'm gonna quote Savvy on this one. It's bullpucky.
Well, let me read more pucky. And as I do, I want to say something that's not pucky is on the right side of the screen as we're looking. I mean, I don't know who that handsome fellow is there. It says a movie monster, but quite the
hello
jib
sailor.
on that one. Turner Smith continued, it would be nice if the people that have all the money were showing their support and putting their feet down. Say this is unacceptable. If you're not a fan, if you do this, make a really big statement and just see if any money leaves. I'm going to come back to that in just a moment, and I can hear the gasps. I bet you.
Wait, she said that?
People of color, and especially
direct quote,
make up a very large percentage of buying power. They might find that it's actually more lucrative for them, but everyone's using woke like it's a dirty word. In other words, she wants it to be woke. She thinks that the woke will win back the percentage. I don't think, by the way, that just because your skin is a certain color that you are part of the woke agenda. But I'll say this. They tried this. The money left and the Acolyte is over. And I'll say this also. I think it's despicable that we are lumping everybody who's a critic into the of any kind of show and saying, well, if you don't like this piece of media that I made, then you therefore are a racist. How dare you? That is disgusting to label everyone with such a broad brush just because they have a proclivity for one show or the other. It is an abuse of derogatory terms. Panel, what say you?
Well, the infuriating thing about this statement, Pro, is that everything that she's saying they have to do, they did. They did every single thing that she's saying to do. Leslie Headland said, you're not a fan if you do this. Ewan McGregor said, you're not a fan if you do this. The people at Amazon at Rings of Power, you're not a fan if you don't like our show. They constantly do this. So she's either just not paying attention or she's being purposely deceitful.
She wants the highest positions of Disney to come out and say it. But this all comes, there's no way that this is willful. This is just narcissism. Make a really big statement and just see if any money leaves. She wants them to go a step further. She wants whoever is actually in charge to make a statement on her behalf.
You have to actually come out and say, if you don't like Jodie Turner-Smith, then you're racist.
Like, that's just so insane to me. How do you ask a conglomerate that clearly doesn't care about you to make a statement like that? They're never going to do that, and that should open your eyes. If she genuinely believes this should open her eyes at how superficial the entire industry is. This should make her hate them.
Well, to some degree, they did it with Kenobi, and it didn't work well.
Well, and all they had was Ewan McGregor, and they were lucky to have someone that even has that much capital with the fans to do it. With the Acolyte, there is no one in that position. They can't send out Leslie Headland because she's shown absolute disdain for the audience. You go to the next person up the line, and I'm fairly certain Dave Filoni had very little to do with this show, but I suppose it would be Dave Filoni. He doesn't have the street cred to say, go to guys, be nice to the ladies. I don't think that's going to do it. Kathleen Kennedy has, if there ever was a bridge, she has burned it with everything that she's done there. So you have to get above Lucasfilm at this point, and that's Bob Iger. And I don't think Bob Iger wants to have anything to do with the Acolyte at this point. So, Savvy, you make a great point, but it only exposes the fact that Lucasfilm has no one right now that has the goodwill of the audience. By the way, and we saw from D23, they put all of their studio heads up there, and the only one that was capable of holding court with the fans was Feige. And it seemed like he distanced himself from Marvel with the Victoria Alonso situation for a while. So what a disaster.
I'm personally offended, Jonas, because we did everything we could to get this thing a second season. I mean, it was great for our bottom line, and they don't seem to appreciate us, lumping everybody who's critical into the Rosas category, even as we try to help them get more episodes. I wanted to see how low they could go.
Can I just pose a question? Outside of Mandalorian, is there any Star Wars show, with maybe the exception of Andor, which I don't know why that got a second season, but
because they had 5 or 6 prepared,
right? But did any of these deserve a second season? Mando,
no.
Sure. Outside of Mando, has anything that they've produced for Star Wars or even Marvel at this point, it really suggested the need for a second season? I mean, I understand they leaned heavily into Loki, and the second season was cheaper to make at 141 million. But what have they made that should have inspired a second season? Because nothing that they've done with Star Wars has been inspiring. It's not satisfying.
Culture, let me take that up.
Let me answer you.
Real quick, and then I'll get Marvin. Sorry, Marvin. Go ahead. You had something better. Go.
Let me answer your question with a question, Culture. Who is this Amanda Lorian? Is she a diverse female? Because I know so much about Star Wars.
See, I told you that was better. Culture. Let's broaden it out to box office too. What have they made that deserve to have follow-ups? Well, they did Rogue One. Okay, that was pretty good. They did Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Outside of that, there's nothing that I think has merited being considered above average from Lucasfilm since it was taken over by Disney. That's it. Fair?
I'm trying to think what would be the height of what they have done there, because I mean, Force Awakens started out strong. Rogue One, that was a film that we all know that got seriously changed in post-production, but I think that's probably the best thing they've got, and at the same time, I think we all consider that like a very well done fan film.
Right. We got decades of crap, and we got Gina Carano humiliated by people who should be humiliated by what they put out there. It is such fun getting to spend time together, folks, but we have come to the end of yet another video. Well, that makes the mainstream scratch their heads, pull their hair out, and wonder, how is it we continue to do what we do? But you know what we do this for? It's for you. To keep bringing all the knowledge of entertainment, explaining what's going on in Hollyweird each and every day. And you can help us continue on that way by clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. Share this out on your favorite social media platforms, and we would love to have you drop a comment right on down below. Share your thoughts because, well, your thoughts truly do matter, and we mean it. As we get ready to say goodbye, we end with the common refrain. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.